Achilles' Armor. When Hephaestus was born, twisted and monstrous, his mother had wanted to abandon him, but he was rescued by Thetis. Now she found her old friend working at his forge. "Thetis, goddess of silver feet, I am honored, and you are welcome. You must rest after your long journey." "I don't have time. Please stop what you're doing and make a suit of armor for my Achilles, my son," she said. "Hurry." "I can't refuse you." Hephaestus put a grimy hand on her arm. She smiled at him, though her eyes filled with tears. He turned his sooty face back to the forge and leaned on the bellows. As the fire burned brighter, he chose the metal to make the breastplate, the leg guards, and the plates to cover each shoulder of the powerful hero. Fine gold, tin, copper from Cyprus, iron, and silver. He looked at Thetis and smiled, teeth white against the charcoal sweat of his cheeks. The flames glowed as he turned metal bars around in the fierce flames. On the beach outside of Troy, Achilles had Patroclus prepared for the burial rites. Protect him with herbs, and dress him in a white robe. Put his spears and swords at his feet. We will build a vast pyre, lay him with all his own, and burn him to white bones. They will lie peacefully in his home, but not before I have destroyed Hector, who killed him. On the battlefield, the Trojans, spurred on by the death of Patroclus, pushed back the Greeks. Achilles, remembering that his mother had told him to show himself, went to the top of the wooden palisade. Alone he stood, a huge man with long hair flying in the wind. He had neither sword nor spear in his hand. He had no armor on his breast or around his waist. The sun was setting behind him as he looked out over the battlefield and called out a challenge to the enemy. "Hector!" Seeing him silhouetted against the red sun, the Trojans were afraid. "Hector!" The sun set and the sea blazed with fire. Hephaestus finished the armor. Thetis marveled at the beauty that this ugly giant had created. Into the shield were worked the faces of the earth, the sun, and the moon. Around the rim of the constellations ran. The breastplate, shield, and broad-bladed sword were glorious. Thetis took the armor and brought it to Achilles with an aching heart. If Hector died, so would her dearest son. The Trojans whispered among themselves as they sat around the fires. They had seen Achilles and feared what the next day would bring. Hector spoke. "Even if he joins the battle, he came too late. Their men are exhausted. The gods are against them, but with me. Troy will not fall," Hector promised. "I have no fear. None. Nor should you." He stood there glinting gold in the flickering light of the fires. His armies cheered him as he sent them to their suppers with promise. "We will attack and destroy them." Briseis walked from Agamemnon's ships to Achilles. She admired the armor. The flames from the fires made the engraved figures seem to come alive. It fit him perfectly. Achilles marveled and said, "I will make my peace with Agamemnon. I will go to war."